stranger things have happened.
Mr. President,
And that was actually
that Maduro would accept Venezuelans.
Say it?
How will you make sure that Maduro will accept Venezuelans?
Well, we're going to see on Venezuela. We're looking at.
This is actually an executive order designating the cartels and other organizations to be foreign organizations.
It's a big one.
Yes, sir.
People have wanted to do this for years. So they are now designated as organizations foreign. And Mexico probably doesn't want that. But we have to do what's right. They're killing our people. They're killing 250, 300,000 American people a year. Not 100, like has been reported for 15 years. It's probably 300,000. I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
A defining political promise to crack down on immigration.
All right, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha-Rakah Kudash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abba. So you have Donald Trump, the 47th president, signing executive orders, which I just showed you one, which it labels the Mexican cartel as a T group, all right, which the government, the so-called white government of America, labeled the so-called Caucasian, the so-called white man, as the biggest T to society. Now they're going after the cartel, and he said they've been wanting to do this for years. The reason they haven't done it for years was because the U.S. government is complicit in the drug cartel crimes. You look up that word complicit, it says means being involved in or knowing about a crime or wrongdoing. And that's why you hear every time there's a T attack, they had eyes on the attacker before the attack. All right? Because they're moving with witchcraft, and a lot of times they're behind the attack. All right? So this is Jacobin. It says the U.S. government is complicit in the drug cartel's crimes. It says, and this was produced in 2023, so you can better believe it's the same or even worse in 2025. It's by Kurt Hack-Barth, which there's actually documentaries I've seen even on the TV of DEA agents coming out and saying, you know, when you see someone hacked up into pieces, that's not cartel activity. Cartel runs up on you with 1,000,000 bullets and sprays you and everyone in the car with you and leave you there, right? He said that this DEA officer, he said that when you see the bodies chopped up, that's a U.S. military tactic, all right? It says last month, a federal U.S. court found a former Mexican security chief guilty of concluding with the Sinaloa cartel. And why do you think they got out, what was his name? The Mexican cartel boss they have here in Colorado's maximum prison. Why is he here? Because he didn't go with the program of the so-called white American government. All right? Al Chapo. All right? It says the trial shows how both the U.S. government and its Mexican clients have been guilty of criminal activity they're supposedly trying to stop. And, you know, everyone's so-called white savior, Donald Trump, is part of this. All right, the so-called white U.S. government is complicit in the drug cartel's crimes. All right, this movie here, Kill the Messenger, from 2014, is really a documentary. In a nutshell, it says, I guess it don't give you. All right. Well, anyways, this guy, he reports, which it's a real guy, Jeremy Renner, journalist. The actor is Jeremy Renner. He's playing the journalist Gary Webb. Happens upon a story that not only leads to the origins of America's crack epidemic, but also alleges that the CIA was well aware of the dealers who were smuggling cocaine into the U.S. and using the profits to arm. The U.S. was using the profits to arm Nicaraguan rebels. Despite warnings to halt his investigation, who told him to stop investigating it? The U.S. government. A conspiracy with explosive implications. What is the explosive implications? They're going to kill you if you tell. As a result of his findings, Webb's career, family, life came under threat. Eventually, he died. All right, but he lost his wife, he lost his family, he lost his job, he lost his house, he lost his car, he lost his everything, even his reputation. All right? So this is what they're going to want to do to the prophets. All right? They're going to try to come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time, and they know this because the truth is coming out about them. The so-called white man, the red devil, he tries to make himself an angel of light, all right? Acting like he's doing good for society, but really he's the devil. You want to know why they're starving babies? It's because the so-called white man is in power. You want to know why there's war? It's because the so-called white man is in power. You want to know why there's drug epidemics or any other form of pandemics? It's because the so-called Caucasian is in power. It says in Revelation 12, verse 12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, that so-called white man that's really red, Edom is his biblical name, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. It tells you in Malachi that this devil, when he gets cornered, he becomes terrible. Malachi chapter 1 verse 3, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, which the Lord is going to destroy America. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. The thing is, they turned that place into a desolate place. They stop the resources. They'll cause a coup. They'll arm cartels. They'll arm gang members. They'll create, pretty much, they'll take peace from the earth. They shall build, but I will throw down. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. And that's why when he punishes this place, it's in his righteous indignation. I wanted to get this here. They shall call, which is Quara, which we're calling out the so-called Caucasian as the devil, as we recite the Bible, as we read the Bible, we proclaim who are the 18 nations on earth. Israel being the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian. According to the scriptures, according to the prophecies, we know that they are the 12 tribes of Israel, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. And according to the scriptures, according to the prophecies, we know that the so-called Caucasian is the red devil, Edom. All right, and that's why this devil is going to want to come down with great wrath, because he's being revealed as the devil. Which, remember, in that signing of Trump, he said there's other groups. You don't know what groups. All right, it could be a Bible study group that they mark as a T group. All right, remember, Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible when he swore in. right? His wife dressed like a witch, right? Trump doing the hand signs of Baphomet at his inauguration, swearing, right? His son Barron looking like freaking Lurch. Come on. And one of his sons and Biden's son look like twins, you know? Because really, they're the same people. All these so-called Caucasians that are in power, that rule, they're actually one family. That family is Edom. They're Edomites. All right? They rule the world in wickedness, and that's why the people mourn. All right? So the Lord's going to send Michael, all right, with Yahushai. Yahushai is the only begotten Son, and Yahushai is coming with the armies of heaven. And one of the generals of the armies of heaven is Michael, the archangel. It says in verse 7, and there was war in heaven. And who's going to fight? He's going to fight the army of the Edomite. And his angels fought against the dragon. The dragon is the so-called white race, which they're really red. And they have a military might. And the dragon fought and his angels is the military. And prevailed not, which of course they're going to lose. Neither was their place found any more in heaven, which you already see the talk of this going on with the chariots, the orbs, which they're trying to say are drones, but their drones are flesh and they cannot do what the spirit does. So they've been found to be liars once again. And the great dragon, the so-called white race that rule the world, was cast out, that old serpent, that old devil, the one that was in the Garden of Eden that deceived Eve. This is the Edomite race today, called the devil, the deceiver. He deceives the whole world. That's why everybody thinks that Yahushai in the Bible is written as the so-called black man, but by the word of the so-called white man, they taught the world that he's the so-called white man. But in the Bible, it's written clearly that he's a so-called black man. But that shows you the power of deception that this so-called Caucasian has. All right, he's the devil, the deceiver, and Satan, the adversary. Who is he always blaming? Jake. He's always blaming the immigrant. He's always blaming the black man. He's always blaming the Israelite. They're the accuser. They're the false accusers of our brethren. Because most of this shit that they say that comes out of their mouth is just shit. It's exactly that. Just shit. Bullshit. All right? And they're going to have to answer for all this shit, which deceiveth the whole world, especially what they said about the Lord, about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and his tabernacle. They're going to have to answer for that. And his angels were cast out with him, which Esau's going to lose, and all his military is going to be evaporated at the return of Yahushua. And America, his kingdom, Edom's kingdom, Basra, is going to be destroyed also. Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in the heaven, now is come salvation. And that's what we're looking for. Salvation from this oppression under the so-called white race. And strength and the kingdom of our power, which is the elect men, and the power of his anointed, which is with his elect men. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, and which accused them before our power day and night. And you just saw what Trump was doing. You don't know what's in that thing he's signing. Just being a so-called black man is a crime in America. Being a so-called Hispanic man, which they put that name on you, when this was your land originally, you so-called natives, Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, and you so-called Mexican Indians, this was your land, and now you're a fucking a T group in here. A T group. You see? Why? Because these devils, the so-called Caucasians, accuse you day and night. And they're doing worse than anybody. They blame even the other nations. They blame the Chinese. They blame the Arabs. But really, it's the so-called white race that is that is the wicked. All right, you want peace on earth, the earth has to be without the so-called white race. And that's why really the earth is going to rejoice when this so-called white man goes down at the return of Yahushua. It says in Revelation 12:11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, which we are Israelites, and we receive salvation through Yahushua, and by the word of their testimony, which were telling the truth. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Why? Because you could die. You could lose your life just like that journalist, right, that revealed that the White House is the biggest drug dealer in the world. All right. You could lose your life over this truth. And he ain't the only one. There's many, whistleblowers of Esau society that was killed, murdered because of them telling the truth. And what we're telling the truth, it's even worse because this has the implications of the downfall of this so-called white race. So they really want to destroy us, but the reason they haven't is because the Lord is protecting us. But there's going to come a time where the Lord allows this devil to touch the elect, even put the elect to death, but it's only to fulfill prophecy. And when that certain number of elect have been put to death, then the Lord's going to send his son back and he's going to tread the winepress. It's going to be terrible for these people. See, nothing they do to us can compare to what's about to happen to them. Because Yahushua coming back, he's coming back with that reputation of his father, the king of terrors. So whatever these fucking crackers think they could do, the Lord could do even better. All right? Because he could destroy the flesh and the mind. You see? And that's what he's going to do. He's going to destroy your flesh and he's going to destroy your mind, crush your soul in the same, And I'm glad to see this taking place. I'm glad to know the Lord is coming back to punish these wicked Edomites and the unbelieving Israelites and these other ungodless heathen. With that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem HaRekah Kodash, double honors, and to our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow, and shalom to the elect wa abal babal.